Okay, to my usual 1,000 plus subscribers who are used to me being funny, this video's not going to be funny. Sorry. This is a response to Mimi Molly's latest video, where she said she would be giving away passes and after-party passes to a lucky few to go see a new movie called Garden Party. So now I shall talk to Mimi Molly. Hi, I'm Max. I watched a lot of the other response videos, and people were just kind of like, I should really go because I'm great. But I noticed you also said that you wanted people to share stories, so I figured I'd give you something a little extra. I'd share a story for you. It's something that I wrote 2 years ago in my autobiographical writing class. Just to give you some context for the story, I am entering my senior year of college, and I'm not a complete social outcast. At least not now. So here we go. Sometimes I have no idea how I get myself into situations. Sometimes I can trace my actions back to a starting point, but usually I lose track of my motives behind many of the actions along the way. In this case, I somehow found myself at a Halloween party. My attendance most likely had something to do with the desire to try normal teenage things, of which I rarely participated in. I guess going to this party also had something to do with my peculiar habit of wanting to do things I've seen in movies. Regardless of the reasons, there I was at a Halloween party, completely and utterly out of place. This was not the first Halloween party hosted by Ashley Brown that I'd been to. However, usually I attended these parties with my best friend. The unique thing about this particular soiree was that my companion was not invited, and yet I still was. The weird thing about Ashley's parties was that the only people who were invited to every one of them were my best friend and I. See, Ashley had a tendency to argue with friends and eventually become their enemies, so she had a constant rotation of party attendance. Because of this, I didn't have much of a chance of making a connection with anyone, and at this particular party in question, I was especially isolated due to my best friend being absent, and also from a lack of desire on my own part to socialize with people I'd never talk to again. Ashley always used to say that she needed to find me a nice girlfriend, and then she never did. In fact, I didn't have a single girlfriend throughout high school, never mind a nice one. I guess Ashley had some desire for me not to be treated like crap, and probably had some hope that I'd meet someone at one of her parties. After all, there was a new menu every time, so I had no reason to be picky. The problem was that I was unable to talk to anyone. The chain of events at one of Ashley's parties usually went as follows. I showed up early, because being late is for fashionable people, of which I am not. Dressed in a costume no one thought was cool besides myself, and in this case I was dressed as Max Fisher from Rushmore. Then I'd sit around being awkward for a few hours while nibbling on party food and chatting with my best friend a bit throughout the night about movies or something. Then I'd be the last one out to leave besides Ashley's close friends who would sleep over. Leaving last didn't so much come from not wanting to leave as not wanting to go home. At this particular party in question, one of the many newbies was this freshman girl, Stacy. She had a typical teenage girl costume, lots of skin showing and ripped fishnets. I'm not sure what it is about ripped fishnets that makes them more provocative, but it seems to work because teenage girls keep ripping them for Halloween costumes. The problem with this Stacy girl was that you felt guilty looking at her because she was young. She was actually only 3 years younger than me, but she looked much younger. She was short and thin, with not much of a figure to her, and she had a baby face. Even her voice sounded prepubescent. And so she was a walking dilemma to the male attendants at the party. She wanted attention, you could tell by her outfit alone, but none of the guys wanted to give it to her. The more we refused her, the harder she worked. And yes, I say we, because she even tried asking the loser in the corner, dressed as a guy from a movie no one had seen, to dance. I spent the majority of this party sitting all alone in a corner while others danced and socialized and did other such things. Again, I say I'm not entirely sure why I was there. But towards the end of the party, things were winding down, people wanted to sit down and talk, and with there being only so many chairs in Ashley's garage, people were forced to sit around me in the designated sitting area. Suddenly I was smack dab in the middle of socializing central, and yet I was all alone. I was in yet another situation where if I didn't laugh at a joke, I made others feel awkward, and if I tried to enter a conversation, I had the same result. I had to deal with the same situation all the time at school when I was in one of our many overcrowded classrooms. While I was floating in this social limbo, Stacy announced that she was going to leave, and after a night of trying so hard to get some male attention, she decided she was going to leave an impression. Without warning, she began kissing every guy in my circle. One by one, she gave each male a peck on the cheek. Then, after she had kissed every guy in the circle, she now faced a dilemma of her own. Me. I was the only guy she hadn't kissed. Suddenly, there was a look of fear in her eyes. She definitely did not want to kiss me, not even on the cheek. Dancing is one thing, but kissing is entirely another. I gave her a blank look that said, "Well, what's your move?" And she just looked back at me, calculating. She could just skip me and be on her way, but who would she offend? Who was this weirdo dressed in a high school uniform and fake glasses? Who the heck brought this loser? Did he have any important connections? It would make it even worse if she turned away now than if she hadn't considered the matter at all. She was trapped and she knew it. Finally, she went in for the kill and gave me a peck as if I was equal to all the other boys. But then she had a new problem because everyone had witnessed this and she had to explain the delay. She couldn't just tell the truth and simply say, "I was just trying to figure out if I could get out of kissing you without being a bitch, then I decided I couldn't, so I reluctantly gave you a meaningless sign of affection." Instead, out of what I assume must have been panic, she just blurted out, "I thought you were going to bite me." But I wasn't the one wearing a vampire costume. She was. So, hopefully that story tugged on your heartstrings or entertained you or just showed you that I'm willing to put in more effort than some of the other videos. I don't know. I'm trying to work with you here, Molly. What do you want from me? What do you want from me? I'll tell you what I want from you. I would love to go to this movie premiere. And here's why. I love movies. And I'm an actor, so, I can appreciate that on two fronts, hanging out with actors in Hollywood and going to a movie premiere. It would be perfect. And, I am just all about movies. I mean, I have movie paraphernalia, movie posters, books that were turned into movies, I am just all about movies, and I would really, really appreciate these tickets. So vote for me.